My name's Stephen Archett, Senior Product Marketing Manager with TIBCO. I'm here to talk about how to create a 360-degree complete view of anything, using on Azure using TIBCO. So, why is this important? Being able to blend your master data with transactional data has a lot of benefit for your organization. Namely, things like customer experience, customer service, operational excellence. How do we create new products, to be innovative, and overall organizational enablement. It's probably very difficult to see on this slide, but a lot of people, when they think of 360 views, they really think about customers. But the reality is that that can also apply to any sort of business entity that you're capturing data on in your organization. So it could be products, assets, locations, patients, suppliers, inventory, pretty much anything that you're collecting data on, you can create these complete 360-degree views. But probably for the sake of the presentation, I'll stick with customer because that's what most people think of. So I think for most of you, is data a competitive advantage for your organization? I mean, who here struggles with, data silos or data that's difficult to get access to? Everybody? Yeah. And the reason it's important to think about this, though, is that Forrester has said that organizations who effectively leverage their data are winning. They're growing faster year over year. They're growing faster than GDP. And by the end of next year, they're expected to bring in $1.8 trillion in revenue. Now, a lot of that revenue will be attributed to organically growing, finding new revenue streams, but a lot of it is also going to be taken from competitors. So if you're not growing, you might be one of these companies that's lagging. But organizations face a lot of challenges with their data. A lot of it's siloed, it's difficult to get access to. It may be in multiple data warehouses spread across different systems. The Harvard Business Review and Gartner had a couple statistics about some of the challenges that organizations face. One of them, more than 70% of employees have access to data they shouldn't. That's a little scary, right? Especially with GDPR. I mean, that could represent an enormous fine to your business. They found that less than half of structured data is used in decision making. Less than half. So could you imagine taking a test and only studying half of the materials? I mean, how well would you do in that test? And then, poor quality data, lack of trust in that data, according to Gartner, is costing businesses approximately $15 million a year in losses. And I'm sure that affects a lot of you in the audience here where, different teams come to a meeting with different reports, they've got different data, some might be right, some might be wrong. And what's been one of the drivers of this? We have more sources of data than ever today. Organizations are faced with a plethora of choices, whether it's on-premise, increasingly the cloud. I mean, Azure did not exist prior to 2008. AWS is maybe a little bit older than that. Snowflake is, another new data warehouse, cloud data warehouse option that popped up over the last, 5 to 6 years. And on top of that, there's more consumers. It used to be, hey, we've got our operational applications. We're going to feed that data in our data warehouse. That's going to feed our enterprise reporting, business intelligence application. And we're going to call it a day. The reality now is we have more BI platforms. We have self-service analytics. There's predictive analytics, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and also, 360-degree views. We want to be able to get that complete picture of our customers, of our products. But that is a challenge. So why is creating this 360 view a challenge? Well, one, we've already talked about, you've got data across different sources. And not only different sources, but also in some cases different types. You could have relational data, but then streaming data from, say, a web application. A lot of times you also lack a common identifier. So if you're a global company, it could be a simple example is it a UPC code in the United States or an EAN number in Europe? So how do you kind of align that and make sure everyone is using the right data? There's differences in the formats of data, and also there's lack of that up-to-date. When we're looking at customers or products, we want the latest up-to-date transactional data. So how do we get access to that in an on-demand, just-in-time manner? So how do we do that with TIBCO? Well, how we help is first we use TIBCO EBX. That is our multi-domain data asset management offering. So it does master data management, it does reference data management, it does metadata management. So you can use that to create your master data. So that's how we address the common identifier and the consistency across the data. Then we use TIBCO data virtualization to actually virtually create this, virtual data layer by federating data on demand, and then creating kind of this abstraction or semantic data layer that our business users and other users can access using a common language. So then we connect that master record with that transactional data all virtually. So we're not hitting the source systems, we're not copying data, we're not moving data. And then finally, we also have, when you're starting to work with larger data sources, we do have an in-memory high-performance cache for those big data sources. So where have we done this? Kasikorn Bank is a bank located in Thailand. Fred Rodaseri, he told me that depending on which metric you use, they are either the second or third largest bank in Thailand. For them, being a bank in Thailand, it's increasingly lots of pressure. Many people, rely entirely on their cell phones to do their banking. They don't go into a store. They don't go into like an actual physical bank anymore. And so that's good for customers. It gives me flexibility. I can do everything I need to do off of my phone. But for the bank, it posed a challenge because the information about their customers and their account information was across different systems. So the checking account was in one system. Savings account was in a different system. Mortgage, credit cards, other kind of products and services that the bank offered were all residing in different systems. But as a customer, when I log into my phone, I don't want to have to log into different accounts to see my information. I want to see it all in one unified view. So they came to TIBCO to create that kind of 360-degree view of account information for their customers. And this is being largely driven by digital transformation and having to respond to the needs of customers today. But additionally, they're having to support up to 10 million transactions or interactions a day as people are going onto their phones, wanting to see what their account information is. And that has to be up to date, right? If I go in and look in today, I don't want to see what my checking account balance was yesterday when I may have already made purchases. I need to see what it is today. So again, they use TIBCO to help create that 360-degree view of accounts. It supports their mobile banking platform in an on-demand fashion. And again, 10 million transactions a day. So how do we do this kind of from a step-by-step basis? So I already kind of showed this a little bit, but step one, leveraging TIBCO EBX, creating that master golden record across your different data sources where you're kind of conforming your dimensions and hierarchies into one common identifier across all of your data. So now we have aligned source IDs. We can bring in external reference data, like maybe like a Bloomberg identifier or a D&B number. And then it kind of aligned by these relationship-driven hierarchies. So that would be step one, creating that golden record. Step two is then leveraging TIBCO data virtualization to pull that up-to-date transactional data from over 100 different sources without moving or copying data. Because one of the challenges with the Kasikorn Bank is they didn't want the customers hitting those source systems because that would put additional strain on those data warehouses that had that information. So by putting data virtualization on top of that, they had kind of a layer of protection between the consumers and the source data. Finally, if you are using, say, an Azure Data Lake or other big data sources or Avro files or Parquet files, you can leverage the kind of included in-memory analytic data cache, part of data virtualization, to kind of accelerate those queries for data and do some other things like transformational or computational capabilities within that cache. Step four now, we're going to align that transactional data with that golden record. So we're blending the most up-to-date information on the fly as needed, combining with that master data, creating the complete 360-degree view. Now step five is that now the downstream, that can feed either business intelligence platforms, it can feed data science applications, it can feed data visualization applications, or any sort of operational application as well that needs that view into that complete picture. So now we have, here like kind of a sample examples of some visualizations created where we can see, the same data by segment, by family, by geography. And then one last thing is like, don't forget about governance. The other capabilities of EBX allow you to provide, a single access point to track metadata, lineage, so who's using what, entitlement management, and other things as well within the data and how you create these views. So this is kind of a high-level architecture of maybe what it could look like in your organization. I realize this is probably difficult to see, but what we have here is EBX doing some of the data governance, some of that data provisioning, from a trust and MDM and reference data management perspective. You have all your disparate data sources along the top that could go into data virtualization. You can pull data in from your big data sources into that in-memory cache that can then go into data virtualization again. And so just as I kind of articulated earlier, this can feed a whole kind of wide range of analytics infrastructure, but also operational applications. Like in the case of Castlecorn Bank, kind of feeding that mobile banking platform so that their customers are getting a complete view of their banking information. So why TIBCO for your complete 360? So one, sovereignty. We're open to any and every platform, Azure and other providers. No matter what kind of source your data is coming in, streaming, historical, it's designed to be agile. One of the benefits of this process is that because we're doing this virtually, we can iterate very rapidly. And so as those consumers are getting those data views, they can communicate back to the people that are providing the data to make changes on the fly. We want it to look this way, change this, include this dimension, remove that dimension. So it can be very agile, almost of a data ops type process of allowing the consumers and the providers to work much more closely together. And finally, TIBCO is enterprise ready. We've been around for over 20 years. We have proven connectivity, scale, and trust. Really built for the future of computing, but also allowing access to data, but making sure that it's trusted and of high quality. So if you want to learn more, we do have a booth, 1749. It's kind of down the main pathway here, kind of on your right. We've got a Formula One racing simulator if you want to try your luck at that. We also have a bicycle that is hooked up with sensors if you want to kind of see how fast you can go in 30 seconds compared to some of our women cyclist team there as well. But you can certainly go there to get any questions answered. And I think I've got a few minutes left, so if you want to maybe open it up for questions, so you can either raise your hand or come up here. But thank you for joining me. Hope you found this informative. And I hope you're having a good conference here at Microsoft Ignite.